magazine. Salt and pepper and heavy D up in the limousine.
With a name as large as his game.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Denied the Greek freak. Here's
The Orlando Magic are going to win this series over the Chicago Bulls.
Two players, two generations. One question: who is the most dominant force the NBA has ever seen? Shaquille O'Neal and Giannis Antetokounmpo, two of the most physically overwhelming players to ever step on the court. Both have changed the game in their own way, forcing opposing teams to build entire defensive strategies just to slow them down. But who truly redefined dominance? Who left the biggest impact on the league? This is the ultimate comparison of two unstoppable forces. Before diving into their individual greatness, let's establish what true dominance means in the NBA. Dominance isn't just about scoring, it's about controlling the game, striking fear into defenders, and forcing teams to adjust their entire strategy to neutralize you. It's about being an unstoppable force, one that opponents spend sleepless nights trying to figure out how to contain. Dominance also isn't limited to sheer talent. It includes consistency, longevity, and the ability to impose one's will in any situation. Regular season, playoffs, finals, regardless of who's in front of them. It's measured in the reactions of defenders, the adjustments of coaching staffs, and the influence on how franchises build their rosters. Both Shaq and Giannis embody these qualities, but in vastly different ways. So the question remains, who did it better? Physical dominance, size versus agility. When it comes to sheer physical presence, few players in history compare to Shaquille O'Neal. Standing at 7 feet 1 inch and weighing over 300 pounds, Shaq was a walking cheat code. He wasn't just massive, he was incredibly agile for his size, possessing footwork that made him nearly impossible to stop one-on-one. He could back defenders down, spin past them, or simply dunk straight over them with a level of force that made the entire rim shake. Once he got position in the paint, there was no stopping him. But physical dominance isn't just about brute strength, it's also about mobility and endurance. That's where Giannis has the edge. At 6'11" with a 7'3" wingspan, he's built like a hybrid of a guard and a big man. Unlike Shaq, who operated mostly in the low post, Giannis is a full-court wrecking ball. He can grab a defensive rebound, take 3 dribbles, and dunk on the other end before defenders even know what's happening. His athleticism and fluidity allow him to cover ground in ways that Shaq never could. Another key difference is conditioning. Shaq's massive frame gave him an advantage in overpowering defenders, but it also led to durability concerns later in his career. His weight fluctuated, and his lack of elite conditioning sometimes caught up with him, especially in long playoff runs. Giannis, on the other hand, is known for his relentless work ethic, maintaining peak physical shape year-round. His ability to sustain high-intensity play across full seasons and deep playoff runs has allowed him to remain dominant for longer stretches without wearing down. Rebounding and paint control. Both players dominated the boards, but in different ways. Shaq used sheer size and strength to secure rebounds, often outmuscling multiple defenders at once. He was an immovable force under the rim, routinely grabbing offensive rebounds and converting them into easy putbacks. Giannis, however, leverages his quickness and jumping ability to be an elite rebounder. He has a knack for tracking the ball and using his explosiveness to rise above taller defenders. While Shaq's presence in the paint demanded respect, Giannis' versatility allows him to chase down rebounds across the entire floor. Offensive impact, power versus versatility. Shaq's offensive game was built on one simple principle: get the ball near the rim, and it's over. He shot nearly 60% from the field for his career, largely because defenders had no way to stop him without fouling. Double teams? Didn't matter. Triple teams? He still found a way to score. His post moves, drop steps, and spins were unguardable. If defenders played him too aggressively, they risked getting dunked on. If they sagged off, he'd overpower them. Shaq was so dominant in the post that teams had to resort to fouling him intentionally, leading to the infamous hack-a-Shaq strategy. Opponents were willing to give him free throws rather than let him feast inside. That's a level of dominance that few players in history have ever commanded. Giannis, on the other hand, doesn't rely on brute force alone. His offensive game is built on speed, skill, and versatility. He can initiate fast breaks, attack from the perimeter, and use his long strides to weave through defenses before finishing at the rim. His Euro step is one of the deadliest moves in the game, allowing him to glide past defenders with ease. One key difference between them is playmaking. While Shaq was an underrated passer who could dish out assists when double-teamed, Giannis takes it to another level. He operates as a point forward, regularly handling the ball and creating for teammates. His ability to collapse defenses and find open shooters adds another dimension to his offensive dominance. Defensive impact. Paint protector versus versatile stopper. Defense isn't just about blocks and steals, it's about intimidation. Shaq's presence alone altered the way teams played. Opponents thought twice before driving into the lane, knowing they'd have to deal with a 300-pound behemoth waiting under the rim. He was an effective shot blocker, but more importantly, his sheer size forced teams to settle for outside shots rather than risk getting swatted. However, Shaq's defensive effectiveness was mostly limited to the paint. He wasn't as mobile on the perimeter and could be exposed in pick-and-roll situations when forced to switch onto smaller, quicker players. Giannis, on the other hand, is one of the most versatile defenders in NBA history. He can guard all 5 positions, protect the rim, switch onto guards, and disrupt passing lanes with his length. As a Defensive Player of the Year winner, his ability to impact the game defensively goes far beyond just blocking shots. He changes entire offensive schemes with his presence. Shaq was a dominant rim protector, but Giannis is a defensive Swiss Army knife who can influence the game on every level. Legacy and influence on the game. When discussing dominance, legacy matters. Shaq's impact on the game is undeniable. He forced rule changes, led teams to championships, and redefined what it meant to be a dominant big man. His larger-than-life personality made him a cultural icon, and his presence is still felt in the league today. Giannis, meanwhile, is shaping the modern NBA in real time. His style of play has influenced the way teams build rosters, placing greater emphasis on versatile, positionless basketball. He's proven that a player can dominate without relying on a consistent jump shot, something many thought was essential in today's game. Who was more dominant? It all comes down to what type of dominance you value more. If you needed a player to overpower opponents, physically bully his way to the rim, and command double or triple teams every possession, Shaq is your guy. He was an immovable force that no one could stop. If you value all-around dominance, scoring, playmaking, defense, and versatility, then Giannis has the edge. He can take over games in multiple ways and impact both ends of the floor like few players in history. At the end of the day, both players defined dominance in their own era. Shaq was the ultimate force of nature, while Giannis is redefining what it means to be dominant in the modern NBA. What do you think? Who is the most dominant force in NBA history? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's settle this debate. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more NBA deep dives, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, keep ballin'.